Hey, what's up, guys? You're just in time for another episode. Today we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of fantasy football. So stop fronting, hit that button. All right, so for everybody who plays fantasy football, we all know it's a mix of talking trash, gambling, and winning a bunch of money. But there are some do's and don'ts. Everyone plays a little different, whether you play full point PPR, half point, you play on ESPN, whatever the case may be. There's different rules and regulations. There's unspoken rules and regulations, right? Like I said, there's do's and don'ts. Some of the do's: know your league, always be active, always do your research. Some of the don'ts: don't be a party pooper, for one. Don't cheat. Don't do collusion. And don't be a carousel league. All right? So for starters, know your league. Now, when I say know your league, I'm not always talking about, there's a Saints fan in your league, so you always got to draft a Saints player and try to see if you can get them as a, trade bait. When I say know your league, I'm talking about that guy who's got to wake up 4 o'clock in the morning for work. You don't need to be calling him, texting him all hours of the night trying to get a trade. Know your league and be respectful. Number two, always be active. Everyone's work schedule is different. Some people have a job, some people don't. You might have to wake up 9 o'clock in the morning and you can't touch your phone until maybe lunchtime. Maybe you don't touch your phone for 8 hours. Um, Always be active. So whenever you have time, go to the bathroom. You need to walk out for a little bit. There's rules and regulations in that, right? Always be active. Always be ready to play the waiver wire. Always be trying to make better moves for your team. Just because you trade a player in week 1 and he does good for you doesn't mean you don't have to worry about trading him away in week 4. Always look at the matchups, right? Always be active. Do your research. Do your research of teams who might be coming up. Look at your schedule. Look at teams who are coming up who's going to be strong. Look at the teams who might have a weak schedule. You might have a really good player. You might have the number 1 running back in the league. But guess what? He might be going on a tough stretch. Put him on the block. See if you can get a number 1 running back, a number 1 receiver, and maybe an auxiliary piece like a flex player, or maybe just some depth. You always got to be active. You always got to know your league, and you always got to do your research. All right. Let's look at the don'ts. Don't be a party pooper. If you agree to a last place punishment at the beginning of the year, you need to do your last place punishment. Everyone wants to agree to last place punishment, and then at the end of the year, when you're in last place, you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. No, I'm not shaving my beard. No, I'm not going to do karaoke. No, I'm not sitting at a Waffle House for 24/7. Don't be a party pooper. Every year, someone has to be last. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's not. Don't be a party pooper. Do not cheat. Don't do collusion. This has to be the worst thing to do in fantasy football. At the end of the day, we're playing for fun, but you're also playing for money, right? Don't cheat. Don't be that guy. Don't set up collusion. Don't go off in a group text and, hey, let's trade this player and this player so you can beat this player and trade him back to me. Or, hey, I'm going to drop this player. You go and pick him up right after. It's no fun. The whole point of fantasy football is to have fun, beat up on your friends, and talk smack all year round. That's what you're there for, right? Right. Don't be a carousel league. When I say a carousel league, that means that usually most players play 10 to 12 teams. And if you're lucky, 90% of those guys are going to come back every single year. You might have one guy every 2 or 3 years who's new. If you're lucky, you're playing with the same guys over and over. One of the main things of fantasy football is building rivalry. Playing the same players every year, 5, 10, 15, sometimes 20 years, you're playing the same guys. Right? You want to build that camaraderie. You want to have years of trash talking. If you're a carousel league, you got 4 players new 1 year. You got 5 players new the next year. You got 3 players new. It's just not fun. It doesn't make you want to keep the attention. It doesn't want to make you stay in that league. I don't care about beating some Joe Smo who's the guy who played last year's third cousin. I don't care about that. I want that rivalry every year, in and out. All right? Listen, I just wanted to make this quick video just to let you know there's do's and don'ts of fantasy football. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Catch you later.